Hey guys, my name is Shai and this is Evermind Astro. This video is all about Jupiter in Libra, okay? Jupiter in Libra, the natal placement. This might also resonate if you've got Jupiter in the 7th house, or if you've got Jupiter's transiting through your 7th, or Jupiter's in Libra right now when you're watching this, right? We're just kind of chatting about the blend of Libra and Jupiter energy. And this one's kind of interesting to me. It's taking me out of myself. Like as I tune into this, I feel like I'm being taken out of myself. And maybe that's just my personal reaction to Libra energy. I do notice that quite a bit with Libra transits. When Libra comes up, I feel like I'm taken out of myself. It makes me feel very kind of diffuse in my mind. So this is, just bear with me while I tune into this. It's making me feel rather a little bit floaty, right? A little bit floaty. So we have Jupiter really emphasizing this air energy, emphasizing all of these Libra themes of fairness and justice and equality and equilibrium and balance in relationships, right? These things are likely to be rather important to you if you have this placement, right? You could the way I'm feeling this actually is that you could be learning very important life lessons through your relationships. This is kind of interesting because Jupiter isn't necessarily one of our big teacher energies, right? When we think of planets that really teach us hard lessons, we think Saturn, right? The first one that comes to mind. But interestingly, Jupiter can also be a learning, teaching type of energy. We just don't necessarily think of it that way. So we tend to think of Jupiter as this great big benevolent planet that brings blessings and expansion and abundance, and it definitely is that. I don't know, guys, the way I'm feeling it for this particular placement for Jupiter in Libra, that there is more of an emphasis on like the learning and the teaching here, like Jupiter teaching you, because think about how you learn through expansion, and how when you are challenged to expand, that that can be really challenging, and that can make you learn very many things, right? And something about the combination of this energy, I think this makes Jupiter more of a kind of didactic type of placement, like it's teaching you stuff, right? And with this, you're going to be learning about how to experience fairness in your relationships with others, right? And this can kind of, you might go through kind of a magnification process of this here. How to describe this? It feels like this isn't going to be everybody, obviously, but just to kind of give you an example of how I'm kind of nebulously feeling this, imagine if you're in a relationship with someone, and this is not just romantic relationships, right? This is all of your friends and your family and people you work with, right? This is any interpersonal relationship. Imagine that, you want it to be fair. You want it to be fair, right? Of course, you want everything to be fair. So you have this idea in your head of divide up the work equally. So romantic relationships, easy an example. Imagine you live with your partner and you think, okay, we should divide all of the housework up evenly, right? We should divide the housework up evenly. Maybe I clean the bathroom this week, you clean the bathroom next week. Or, you try to divvy up like exactly like a fairsy, equal way of divvying up the chores, right? And you might, but the learning here is that you might find that doesn't actually work that well. It doesn't work as well as you would hope. It seems like it's fair on paper. And I mean, it does sound fair, right? But maybe it just doesn't quite work out that way. Maybe, it brings up tension or frustration or bitterness in the relationship because, people are clashing, people don't agree and stuff like that. But then you find out, okay, how can I make this actually fair, right? How can I make this actually fair? Then you might have a different approach. You might realize, okay. What's a different way of making this fair? And maybe fair doesn't look exactly the way you think it does, right? Maybe instead of one person cleans the bathroom one week and one person cleans the bathroom next week and you're taking turns, maybe one person entirely takes over bathroom cleaning duty. Maybe one person entirely takes over all of the household cleaning entirely, but the other person, maybe they do all the cooking, right? Maybe you divide it up that way. Or maybe one person does all of the domestic stuff, but the other one makes more money. Or the other one like handles something else, right? Maybe they I don't want to get too really into specific examples here, but you can imagine how you can divide this up, right? How you can divide it up without it being kind of apples to apples, without it being same, same, same. You can think of more broadly in terms of how is this fair overall, and taking this really, really, really big picture of fairness, right? Even if the two people involved are doing entirely different things, you might think, in this really big expanded perspective, maybe that's how this is fair. Maybe that's how that is working out to be fair for us, right? As long as everybody is kind of contributing and everybody is doing what they're best at. And this is kind of like this fairness that kind of comes from contributing with your strengths, right? For some of you, this could even, like if you were to have like it is in the 11th house or something, if you were to have Aquarius energy involved, this could even, work out into like society at large, right? Larger groups of people. It's this feeling of as long as everybody is kind of contributing and is dedicated and is contributing from your strengths, right? Contributing from a place of strength and allowing people to kind of focus on their strengths and allowing people to do what they're best at, and that helps everybody contribute in the way that is best for them, then in this kind of broader picture that works out to being fair. That is what's coming up here, right? You guys really learning about what fairness actually looks like, what balance and equality actually looks like. And you also, I feel like you have this understanding in that it's not necessarily like day to day, right? Because this is big picture. This is big, big, big picture thinking. So again, using the relationship analogy, maybe one partner goes through a year or maybe several years where maybe they can't contribute to the relationship in the same way, right? Maybe they can't contribute the money or the housework or even the emotional support, right? Maybe they're going through something, right, that just takes all of their energy and all of their attention, and they can't contribute equally for a period of months or even years, right? But from this broader picture perspective, you realize that even that is okay, because you have one person being the supporting partner, one person being maybe the person who needs support for a period of years, and then you have this bigger picture understanding where, okay, as time goes by, that switches, and then later on down the track, right, suddenly the person who's needing support, maybe now they get to be the supporting partner, and the person who was the supporting partner gets to be the supported partner, right? So it's like these balancing of the scales over time. I feel like this is likely to be something that, maybe it occurs naturally to you, right? Maybe you understand this viscerally from a very young age and you don't need to go through this learning, right? I do feel like for some people with this placement though, or if this is like transiting through for you, that you're going to be learning about these things, right? I don't know what it is about the Libra energy seems to be bringing out the educational properties and the kind of challenging properties of Jupiter. So I also think with you guys, you're likely to, like, relationships of all kinds are likely to just be emphasized in your life some way. And that's kind of a weird thing to say, right? Because of course everybody wants relationships, everybody has relationships of all varieties in their life. And this is like, we're humans, right? We're social creatures. Even those of us who are very introverted, very, very reclusive, sometimes for introverts and recluses, right, our interpersonal relationships are even more important because we might only have one or two of them, and they might be a huge, huge, huge chunk of our life, right? So this is like, it's everybody, of course, relationships are important to everybody, but there's something about this placement, it makes it more emphasized, and it's like, it's integral even to how you develop abundance in your life. Because with Jupiter, we can also talk about money and just physical abundance, right? And how you feel like you are expanding in your life. And these things are likely to come through partnership for you guys. This is one of those things where, maybe a business partnership, maybe being in business with your partner, maybe just being in a relationship with your partner and maybe in a situation where your partner's making quite a bit more money than you are, right? And that's how that abundance comes through for you. But then maybe there's going to be other opportunities at different points in your life where you are the more abundant and the partner that provides, right? And relationships with people are likely to open up doors for you guys in a way that might not be immediately obvious, right? Again, it's this big picture thinking of how are you learning through relationships? How are relationships causing you to like learn and expand and grow as an individual? And how does this growth bring you material abundance, right? And it's one of these things that it might take years and years and years and years and years to really understand, because it's big picture thinking. And when you're thinking this big picture kind of way in terms of relationships, it might not be immediately obvious, like right away, but if you watch the dynamics of your relationships over time, right, you're going to start to see how not only do the scales of justice bring this equality and fairness and balance over years, right, over time, but also how your relationships are bringing you even financial opportunities, bringing you material abundance, and bringing you maybe like adventure and expansion, how a lot of things in your life come in through your relationships. And again, Libra doesn't have to all be about, fairness in relationships. That is a big part of it. But there is also this emphasis on just beauty, right? Beauty. And this is because Libra ruled by Venus, and you got Jupiter and Venus energies kind of blending together here. Beauty and art and culture, right? Culture, right? Stuff that people would refer to as culture, right? Like the arts, going to the ballet, going to the symphony, right? Seeing Shakespeare in the park, that kind of stuff. They're not everybody, obviously, but that kind of stuff could be important to you, right? You could like to have a beautiful home. You could like to have, you could be sensitive to your environment in a way that some people are not, right? You could have this is like for a smaller subset of people here. It's going to depend how this is in your chart and like how you are as an individual, right? Your Jupiter placement isn't everything about you, obviously. But I feel like there is a kind of emphasis here of your physical appearance, how you dress, how you look. And it's not so much about what you actually look like, but how your appearance is making you feel and how your physical environment, right? You're probably sensitive to that, and having a beautiful environment to be in and having nice clothes to wear and feeling like you look nice when you go out, right? That's actually really healthy for you, right? It helps you develop, helps you feel good. It helps your mental state be healthy. It's healthy, right? It's healthy for you to have beautiful and harmonious surroundings. And that is something you could, with this placement, easily be sensitive to. Other people might sometimes say that it's shallow, but it's not. It's how you're sensitive to the energy, right? It's how you're sensitive to the energy. So allow yourself to have that as much as you can. Create that in your life, right? To have a beautiful home, to take care of your appearance in whatever way that means for you, right? Because that is likely to be part of how you take care of your mental health, actually. So a little bit of side note on that. And that's basically what I'm seeing for this video, guys. So I got lots of links down below. Check me out. I'll talk to you later. Bye.